sir, do you have those hentai action figures though with the big titties that bounce when you shake them?
I am not Robo.
Okay, alright. I'm just asking. Alright,
Yeah.
you know, those are some good anime.
Gato. Actually, no. I think he's got a lot of he's got a lot of anime stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But you don't have none of that stuff like that?
No, not like that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's the seductions across the
real life anime, bro. They just have regular girls. I want the waifu pillow.
Oh.
That's what I'm looking for. It's the real stuff right there, bro.
Robo Gato. Honestly, I don't know because the only reason they came to mind is because they're like the only actual anime store. So I actually got boxes back there that I can catch. I do. So you let me know if you want to.
Yo, why is Vampirella's ass out over here?
That's a variant.
That's a what?
Yeah, you got the ass version.
Damn. Got some booty meat cheeks over here. Look at this. Oh, sorry, not for kids.
Honestly, that could just be a factory
No, it's not. It's more than that. It's a lot. It's a lot. I know who you are. Get away from me. Thank you very much. Oh my God. There's a creep out with the camera in here. So weird.
I never understood the difference between Goku and literally everyone, like half the characters in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From black hair to blonde.
And I recently saw this video where like they were just switching like their hair, and they all looked alike. But people were like, "Oh my God, I never knew." I'm like, "How did you never know?" I was a little kid going like, "They all look the same."
Except for the bald guy.
Except for Krillin, exactly.
So yes, we have Karomi. Hello, welcome to J&M. What's it called?
Sports cards and toy collectibles.
J&M Sports Cars and Toy Collectibles. And we have Karomi here, along with all of our friends here. And these are all on sale. Different prices, of course. You're so far away, bro.
I'll go look around some more.
So this edition of what is this? Shenanigans Podcast, we're at J&M Sports Cars and Collectibles, and we're here with the owner, JoeAngel.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Joe. So tell us what you got going on here.
Well, what I have going on here is actually my family's business of 35 years.
Wow.
35 years. Yeah, my dad, my mother and my father, they're the ones who ended up putting into the business. They started it, they found it. And it used to be just a sports card shop.
Right.
So just a sports card shop. And we were just a little shop on George Jeter back in 1990.
Really?
Yeah. 89, 1990. So that's when my parents opened it up. The way I'm told it went is my father wanted to start a business and my mom wanted to start a hobby.
Yes.
Or vice versa. But,
I doubt your mom was collecting sports cars, but hey.
well, she's the one who introduced them to it.
Not really.
Yeah, my mom was the one who introduced my father into the sports cars because there was a friend of hers back when she was, she used to be a bus driver.
Okay.
And one of her coworkers at the time, they had just gone into this discussion of like, hey, have you heard about this? Do you know about this? And it was cards.
Yeah.
So a friend of my mother's actually got my mom into the card game.
Wow.
So my mom, like, oh, hey, we want to start a business. Let's look into this.
Right.
And just from that little bit of inspiration,
It turned
into this whole thing. Now, mind you, I do focus a lot more on the toys.
Yeah.
I'm more the toy. I didn't get the sports gene.
Okay.
But I did end up getting just the collector's itch.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. There's nothing in here is actually like my personal collection.
Right. Because that'd be weird to sell your toys.
Yeah.
This is like a big collection to have when you're a little kid, and you're just like, hey, I need like important money for something else, and you have to start selling your collection. Well, let's sit down and talk about it.
Sit. I'll take a step. I'll throw it.
No, I don't know what's going on with this here. Well, thank you for having us here, because this has been a long time coming. We've been trying to get the podcast over here, and we know you're a busy man, so thank you for meeting with us and talking with us. And recently, you've collaborated with Rad, and you do meat markets over there?
So that's actually that's with Chino. So Chino Zapata, who's a really good friend of mine, he used to do the pop-ups back. Oh my God, I met him. I've known Chino now for since 2019.
Okay.
2019, 2018, 2019, and that's how we kind of met. We met at Asylum Comics on Mesa.
Okay.
So Greg's store on Asylum, it's really cool. He's more a comic book shop, Like some people come in here, oh, you're a comic book store. I'm like, no, not really.
Yeah.
I'm just like an overall collector store. Greg's got one of the best comic book shops here in El Paso. There are other great ones too, like Black Sheep and Old Major.
Yeah.
But Greg, I know Greg. He's a really nice guy. So he was holding an event for one of the releases of a Batman comic. It was, I want to say, a New 52. It's the cover where Batman and Catwoman are getting married.
Right.
And so he was doing an event there. He had all these cosplayers come over. and that's where I met Chino.
Okay.
And Chino, he was like, "Oh, so you're the son. You're Joe's son." He didn't actually know my father, but he knew of my father.
Right. So are you junior?
No, not Junior.
Not Joe Junior?
Not Joe
Okay.
Junior. So my first name is JoeAngel.
Okay.
So JoeAngel is the first name.
Okay.
Joe Junior, no, not Joe. But I guess some people look at it that way.
Right.
But,
Because they're like it's like a father-son duo. Usually when you go into small businesses and it's family owned, so it's passed down from generation to generation to generation. So it's like now that you're taking over the realms, most people will be like, "Oh, it's Junior."
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. And I don't really penalize anyone for it, but it's like it's not Joe Junior, it's JoeAngel.
Exactly.
So
you're holding your own. So this is JoeAngel.
Yes, JoeAngel. I mean, it's also because in hindsight, we're very different too. Like as similar as my father and I can be in certain respects, we're very different.
Right.
My dad, we're both very mellow people, I'd say.
Yes.
But again, his focus, my mom's focus, both of them, that it was the sports cards. It was the sports cards, and
So who introduced the toys aspect of it?
so back. Alright, so we always had a little bit of toys here and there. Damn it! Sorry, we always had a little bit of toys.
There's so many good toys here. Oh, my child is alive.
I'm glad.
We're alive, dude. You were
the
saying?
toys. We had always gotten toys, little by little, back on our George Jeter location. So again, that was 1990. I was a little kid. This store is actually older than me.
Yeah.
But I remember being a little kid seeing some toys. I'm like, I want to play with the toys. And
Right.
like, no, we're selling those.
Right.
So,
So
but-
they're in a package all pristine, and you're like, no touchy, no touchy.
Exactly. And sometimes when it was not it was a nice day, it was a special day, and they just let me take out the toys so I can just look at them.
Yeah.
And have them in my hand. Not exactly play with them, but
Yeah.
there they were.
But you're like making a kid approve. You're like, no, this is a toy that a kid's gonna want because I know I want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine.
And so we had toys, yes, but it was primarily a card shop. Like the ratio was just not there. We had little toys, and then we had all these cards.
Right. So with the cards, are you guys into the buy, sell, trade, or are you just collecting the cards?
A buy, sell, trade. So again, when it comes to actually collecting anything, my mother has a specific collection of sports cards. It's going to be Michael Jordan.
Oh,
She started collecting Michael Jordan cards for a long time now. She's been collecting. She's got a pretty sizable Jordan collection.
Really?
Yeah, she's got a lot
She's a
of.
Chicago Bulls fan.
No,
Just Michael Jordan.
not even.
Really?
Because so my mom was a big time athlete back in her prime, high school, everything. She just knows the game,
Okay.
And so when I remember the way she would tell me is, I actually didn't like Michael Jordan. She said that. She said she didn't like Michael Jordan because she thought of him as like a ball hog. But you know what?
Fair,
fair.
fair.
Jordan is a great player.
Yeah.
You can't deny the greatness, and she couldn't either, because she was like, you know what? As much as I think he's a ball hog, he's a great player. He's a great player, and he's the only athlete in basketball that I'm going to collect.
Right.
And so she was a basketball player too. She was great, honestly. She did really well. As a matter of fact, she coached a junior high team that went undefeated for 3 years.
No way.
Yeah.
Here in El Paso?
Here in El Paso.
What?
It was in the Lower Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
And what's your mom's name?
my mom, her name's Mary Lou Saliba. So my dad, Joe Saliba, Mary Lou Saliba.
Okay.
And yeah, she.
So she's a prominent figure in the El Paso community, especially in the sports category.
Yeah, I would say so. More so, more so Lower Valley. She did. She played in the basketball in San Elizario. She went with it. She went to college for that. Unfortunately, she had to come back home.
Okay.
Yeah, but she had to come back home for family reasons.
Yeah.
But she would have been great.
Right.
Yeah. She
Right. Imagine, the scholarships and the award tour she'd be in. She'd be in the WNBA.
She'd been the first Caitlin Clark.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
No, No, she's great too. Caitlin Clark. I have been keeping up with that, so
Right.
I've been watching a little bit of that. She's a great player too.
She is a great player, and she gets so much slack because most people are like, they look at it, instead of looking at it as just women playing, they want to break it down by race. So they're putting her against Angela Reese, and it shouldn't be that. Both women are great players in their respectable sport, and we should just support it as such.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's no denying the numbers either. You know what I'm saying?
The stats are there, you know.
Yeah, she's been shooting. There's a reason she gets compared to Steph Curry.
Yes.
You know, like she's just shooting threes,
Right.
sinking threes. You know, so that's great. But I always look at my mom and I'm like,
Yeah.
could have been you.
So I'm sure you're not the only child, okay? So how many children did mom have, and which one has her genes in the sports category?
I am my mother's only child.
No way.
Yes.
So was Batman. Just to let you know.
You're not on the camera.
So was Batman. Just to let you know he was an only child.
Somebody else thought, we're related.
Where is she? Where's the box of toys you promised me?
I mean, take a look.
I will.
Okay. You're the detective. Find it.
Thought the doors were closed.
But
So you're the only child?
I'm my mother's only child.
And
Yes.
you didn't pick up the sports team?
No, because I guess some of that might have been like my dad's doing. I don't know. But no, my dad was an athlete too. I think that's what it was. Two athletes came together, and I just canceled out.
Okay. So if your dad's an athlete, what sport was he into?
Football.
Football.
He played football.
Okay.
He got some. I know he got a knee injury playing football, so he didn't really pursue that.
Yeah.
But he did, police officer and everything. Just a little plug in about my dad's book.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a book. It is published, and it is going to be available.
And the name of it?
Spirit of El Paso. It's called the Spirit of El Paso because that was the award he was given. So my father was actually given an award for holding a football game.
Oh.
And the football game was, what had happened is when he was the sheriff at the time, there was these two rival gangs that were causing a lot of trouble in the lower valley. This was Sin Elizario. And it was the Stoners and the Barrio Virgen, that's what they were called. The Barrio Virgen and the Stoners and the dinosaurs, because that's how long ago it was. They were just causing a scene. They were causing a ruckus. But they were causing a lot of drama. Things were getting pretty bad. It started off as just like trivial things, then like minor felonies, whatever. Then they just started. So my dad goes in, and the community was essentially like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" My dad's a sheriff's deputy. Yeah, exactly. It almost felt like it was one person. He had deputies behind him who helped him out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know too much of the details, and I don't want to give away too many details right now.
Course,
You got to get the book.
Read the book.
Spirit of El Paso.
Because if it gives you all the information, you're not going to read the book.
Exactly.
It's like the trailers now for movies. They give you the whole gist of the trailer, and then it's like, why wait for the movie when you can wait for Tubi?
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, so I don't want to give too much,
Okay.
but yeah,
But
football.
do tell the people, where can we find the book?
The book. So once it drops, and it's going to drop this week. I specific dates. I'm going to say
We got an exclusive.
it's going to drop this week.
Okay.
Now I'll share with you the link once it is available to me, so people can go and purchase the book, Spirit of El Paso, again, because it's the award that my father was given for what he did for the Lower Valley. It's called the Spirit of El Paso Award. Therefore, the book is called Spirit of El Paso.
Awesome.
So I'll send you a link as soon as I've been given the okay.
Right.
But I know for sure it will be available at Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart. So this is like a big thing. I was very happy for him to know that his book is going to be out there.
Because it's a long time coming, right? Because how long did it take to put this story together?
I mean, so my father's been asking me about helping him with this for a long time. And initially, what football?
Yeah. No, I think one's the Stoners and one's the other group.
Oh, the Stoner and Barrio.
Yeah, there you go.
So who's who?
We don't.
I had lost my train of thought.
Yeah, so it's like, so when you think about writing a book, when did your dad
Helped him, yes.
Yeah, like did from start to finish. It was like one day you're sitting at table, it's Thanksgiving Eve, and you're just like, you know what? I want to write a book about my life.
So what happened was, before we were here in Cesar Vista Mall, we were at Sunland Park Mall, or now the Shops of Solano.
Yeah.
So we were over there at Sunland Park Mall, and one day, a friend of mine, or a figure from my dad's passing, they walked in, they went to go say hi to my dad, and so he just gave my dad the idea, like, oh, hey, remember this thing that you did back in San Elizario when you were the sheriff, and you had the football game and everything? I had no idea that this happened.
He'd never told you.
I'm always finding out things.
After the fact.
After the fact,
Right.
yes.
But how cool is that your dad was such a staple in the community that he was able to get 2 rival gangs to dissipate, pretty much.
Yeah. And I mean, again, don't want to give too much about what happened, but like, it's just, you know, he had this sense of awareness. Him being a football player back in the day, the way he had put it was like this, you know, you want to really get all of that, whatever you have inside, out, you know, particularly with these gangs who just want to like hurt each other.
Yeah.
Let's do a football game. Let's do a football game, because he says his words, I remember when I would just have like a week or so of practice in football gear, and we go out and we play, and you're getting tackled and hit and everything.
Yeah.
You're sore the next day for who knows how long. You're not going to want to do anything.
At all.
Essentially, he applied that to this situation, and it was in a controlled environment. So it wasn't like they just went wild.
Right.
It's a controlled environment.
Right.
So
now you got to read about this controlled environment and everything that Joe Salvador did for the descendants of the community in his book, The Story of
Spirit of El Paso.
Sorry.
Joe Salvador.
Yes.
And it follows some other things that he experienced as sheriff as well.
Okay. Okay.
But so that's where it came around. And yeah, he had asked me to try and help him out with it. But initially the idea was he wanted to do a film. And so my dad, he doesn't know film that well. He was just...
But eventually this movie could get the rights to become a feature film.
God willing, you know? Yeah. Like, if there's somebody out there who sees it and they're like, oh, hey, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Like, because it's very... what's the movie? Gridiron Gang type, you know?
Yeah, but we don't want The Rock.
For the love of God, not him.
Not The Rock. Can you imagine The Rock trying to pass himself off as a Mexicano?
I mean...
No.
Whatever.
No.
But, so, yeah, he wanted me to help him out, and that was the idea first. Like, oh, make this a film for me.
Yeah.
And I told him, oh, you don't know what you're asking. I was like, you don't know what you're asking.
Well, what do they say? They always say it doesn't hurt to ask, right?
It doesn't hurt to ask.
You never know, like, who's listening, who's around, who can make that dream happen, reality.
I think, thankfully, because he did get the ball rolling with another individual, I would just rather not get into any of that. But because he did get the ball rolling, that did bring our friend Michelle Murray into the picture, who is an author. She's the one who helped us get this. And Michelle Murray of KMP Entertainment, great. She's been a really big help. Yes. She helped my father. She wrote this story for him, essentially. Right. Like, he gave her all of his notes and all of his details, and she was just able to form it for him. Nice. And it's very grateful. Our family's been very grateful for it. But like I was telling my dad, like, oh my gosh, my God, you don't know. Well, you're asking me to do a film? Yeah. Dude, like, I need to. It's not even just a hassle of getting that many actors to be in it. It's like,
it's a big production.
It's a big production. It would have been a big production.
You know, getting the permits to film it within the city, out of the city. Each city has, because between San Elizario, which that's where the story started, I'm pretty sure you're going to want to film some on location in San Elizario before you move over to the El Paso scenes, and going through that, and then the nostalgia for hopefully how your mom and dad met and got together and created JoeAngel and the family, and then into the family business, going from being in the local law enforcement to a shop owner, essentially a small business owner. Remember, because we just celebrated Small Business Saturday, and this is where you come. You to celebrate local heroes in the community by supporting their businesses.
Right, and it's a good legacy that my father has left down, with the book and now the shop that I Do my best to keep it going.
Yes.
I mean, it has its trials for sure, especially being in Cielo Vista Mall.
Yeah.
Like Cielo Vista Mall is a whole other animal.
Well, more people come here than they do the other ones. So.
That's true. A lot of people, but I'm also I guess my mind was more in like the sense of the technicalities of running this place and the behind the scenes of being a shop owner, a small business owner in Cielo Vista Mall.
Right.
It's very challenging.
Of course, I would imagine so because you have to put up with the rent and being able to. You're competing with other stores within the mall.
Yeah.
So how do you draw attention to your shop?
Yeah, and it's tough, and that's so. At the beginning of this year, so back in January, I had made it a mission of mine to get comfortable with social media because before that, I was not.
Yes.
I was really not. I'm not a fan, so to say, just because it's very different for me. It's funny because I'm an actor, right? So some people are like, oh, well, you're an actor, you should be comfortable with this type of thing. I'm like, no, not really. Because I'm more of a stage actor, first off. So I'm on the
where it's scripted,
theater, it's scripted. Yeah.
It's live action when you're performing it, but behind the scenes you have rehearsals, you come in, you get into character, wardrobe, makeup if you need to.
It's just a whole different world.
Yeah.
And it's literally not a real world. You have to suspend your disbelief for it, expand your willingness to believe.
Yes. And for those who don't know, JoeAngel is killing it on TikTok. He has opened up a TikTok, so please follow him on TikTok. What's your handle on TikTok?
On TikTok, that's going to be there's J&M Sports Cards 915, I believe.
And then, and what do you do every time you get a brand new
Oh,
box?
the box. So I started.
I found this in the back. Joe. I hope you don't mind. Do the thing. Can you do the thing?
I'll do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing. Do the thing.
I don't think that's how it goes.
Something like that. Just something to do the thing.
Do you want me to do the whole opening or just catch the box?
You're supposed to catch the box, but
You want me to do all of it? You're gonna
show the magic of the J&M.
Just pretend you didn't know the secrets, alright, folks? It's gonna do the thing.
I'm gonna do the thing. So I guess it's what people started to get to know me for this past year with the box. So
yeah. Well, the box already dropped because we don't want to give away the secrets. So the box already dropped. It's already here.
He can open one.
Well, I don't want him to throw it up and kill himself.
No, I'm not gonna kill him. So this one's actually pretty light. Okay. So normally if it was a heavier box, I would have opened it already, and then I just catch an empty box. So, but so it's the whole throw it up, and then
a box just dropped.
Yeah, the box dropped in. Let's open it up. That's how I go into all my videos for the most part. I don't have my knife or my scissors on.
Oh, so this one's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah,
it's a mystery
I'm
box.
gonna get my. So I might as well do the open. I have to open this box anyway. So, so we'll see what's in it.
Right.
There we go. And normally everything's sped up at this point. What I do, there we go. So you're actually seeing, it's live. It's live. It's a live,
it literally is live.
Unboxing, because the majority of unboxings that I do, you'll just see that I've edited it.
Yeah. Well, Shenanigans Podcast, everything's live.
There we go. So we'll see what's in here right now.
Paper! Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I get excited for the paper too, man. Oh, sweet. Yeah. So we got some Godzilla. Yeah, sorry, I'll let you hold on to that.
Oh, smells brand new.
These are going to be some Funkos, I believe.
Is it the humidifier one?
Yep.
Oh, wait, wrong way. I love the color.
Smell it. Smells brand new.
I grew up watching Godzilla, and this is like awesome. It's like, you know what? This store is like living my childhood fantasies. Like every toy that I always wanted, and my mom's like, "No, you didn't earn it." And I'm like, but now with as an adult with adult money, I can buy anything I want. And I did. I bought everything.
It's like Thanos when he gets all the stones. Reality can be whatever I want.
Oh, sweet. So I had already gotten the
Funko Pops.
Zuko and Toph
Oh.
So now I just got
Katara.
Katara in. So
The airbender.
I should be getting Aang as well. So normally, again, all of this is sped up in my videos, where I'm just like, because I try to, for YouTube particularly, I have to try and keep it under a minute, right?
What?
Because then it'll actually put your short out there for many people to see.
it off.
But if it's over a minute, it's considered like a long video.
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch it.
Yeah, nobody
The
sees it.
attention spans of humans are short.
Yeah, essentially. That's what YouTube tells me.
And how often do you get new shipments in?
I mean, right now, so what's happening right now is I've noticed that I'm getting a lot of stuff still on back order from like August. There's stuff that I ordered back in August. I'm barely getting it.
Is it because it come from overseas?
No. I think it's just a matter of the distributor not having the product on hand. Okay. So whoever's making the product, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get them to you. Eventually. Yeah. So, but we're so backed up. Because right now, with the way things are, everything's just kind of like backed up. Yeah. Everybody's waiting for stuff. Nothing's getting in on time. Right. I mean, there are certain things, like Funko is pretty on top of it for the most part. Nice. But there are other things that I know that I'm like, oh my gosh, why isn't this shown up yet? This needs to be here already. Right. And so it kind of hurts the account a little bit, you know, when like all these things come in backed up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, like I already have enough to pay this rent here. Yes. For you guys to be, because they don't bill me until they send it to me. Oh, awesome. But if they have everything like backed up, and then they just start sending me these shipments, it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, coming up.
So you have to save all your rainy day money.
Yeah, essentially. Oh, is that not? Let's see what we got here. Oh.
It's the original.
It's the Godzilla in his victory dance. Mm-hmm. You know? When he's jumping up. Like he's jumping up, yeah. So when I was looking at my Entertainment Earth account, this is really the only reason why I got this guy, is because of the dance. Like, I saw that, I'm like, someone's gonna like that.
They are. So. And do you do special orders? Like if a customer comes in, they see something that they like, and they've been to like every store, and they come in and ask to do special orders?
What I can do is I can try and look it up for you. Okay. And so if I go into my account, and if I see it's there, I guess it's like a pre-order situation, right? Yeah. All right, so I want to pre-order this for you. I'll get it right now. Right.
So they should be able to just do it front.
Yeah, so they should, because it's not something we particularly do. Mind you, I haven't been the owner for that long. Right. I've been the owner for a little over 2 years now. Okay. Now, the first year I was the owner, a lot of my time was spent at the Joe Battle location. And the Joe Battle location was very quiet. To a point where I guess I didn't really know what all this entailed. You know, like I was the new family owner, and I'm at this little quiet shop where I'm not getting a lot of traffic in.
Right, so you're learning how to be a shop owner.
I honestly, it's trial by fire.
Oh yeah.
The moment I opened this location at the mall, it was trial by fire. Like there was, and a lot of, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, maybe you should have just you should have waited. But no, it forced me to learn. Yeah. And it forced me to grow. And that's something that I think a lot of even older customers don't take into consideration. Right. About like, you know, oh, well, he's changed this and he's changed that. Well, yeah.
Well, you have to.
I'm
to
learning.
With the times and things. Like, you've been, your family has owned this for 35 years. Imagine those customers are older now. So then the next 35 years, the younger customers are going to grow up.
Yeah. And then it's not only that. This was because when I started off at first being a very new business owner, very bright-eyed business owner, like, oh, yeah, well, I'm trying to be as nice as I can, you know? I'm trying to be as nice as I can. There's nothing wrong. I am nice to people.
JoeAngel is very nice.
Thank you. Yes. But I guess what I mean to say is I try to be as fair as I can, but a lot of people won't even see it that way. And I'm talking about like when it came to my like purchasing policy. When I first started this, and I was at Joe Battle, I told people, hey man, I'll try and buy your stuff at 50%. 50% of what stuff is going for.
You're not making any money that way. There's no profit in that.
Nope.
You know.
Nope.
So
There
and
wasn't.
then you wouldn't do that to another business. You wouldn't go into Walmart like, hey, let me get half off automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And they roll back.
No, and I learned, and that's the thing. That's the learning part. But people were more than happy to come in and sell it to me when I was like, yeah, I'll try and buy it at 50%. So they're, oh, he's buying at 50%. They're happy to come to me at that time. Some people not still because they think they like need 80%, and I'm just like, okay, guy, I'm a business, not a collector. I can't do that.
Exactly.
I cannot do that. I've had people though who wanted to get into arguments with me about like, well, I know these businesses that they'll give me 80%.
Yeah, but you're not there. You're here.
Yeah, you should go over there then because that's a good deal. Yeah. Like if somebody is offering 80% for your product, you should like no. Hey man, that's your prerogative. You should go get the most amount. If you're trying to get the most out of something, you should. That's all on you.
If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home.
But that's another thing that I will try and help people with is they come in here and they don't. Listen, yeah. I'll move these aside really quickly.
I'm gonna let you sit on the chair so you don't have to sit on the step stool.
Well, I thought Zeke was gonna join us, but he's very.
Stop myself.
He just is getting really excited.
Zeke is literally like a kid in the candy store right now. So we're just gonna let him do whatever he kind of wants to do.
I'm fine with it.
Alright. I'm waiting for him to put the Chewbacca mask on.
I'm going to. I do have to text my mom really quick.
Oh,
She's calling me. She's been calling me.
I'm so sorry. We got.
Again, only child.
Okay.
I'm only son.
Yeah.
So I have to make
You don't have to explain to us. We all have moms or had moms that we had to make sure, you know, that we check in once in a while. She's probably wondering. She's going to ask you what's for dinner.
So yeah, getting back to it, people who come in looking to sell, and so I tell them like, yeah, I used to buy at 50%, but now my stocking is like 30%.
Okay.
So, and I tell them, it's all up to you. You don't have to take that.
Right.
You don't have to take that any more than I have to pay it.
Right.
Like, I do have, it doesn't happen all the time. There are really great people who come through who are just, they want to know how to sell. Or they're like, they don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So they see me, they come in and they're like, oh, well, I'd like to sell it. And I'll tell them, okay, well, so you know ahead of time, I'm buying at 30%.
Yes.
But if you want the most out of it, I'll still tell them how much it's worth.
Right.
Like,
and that's only fair, though.
Of course. I mean, they're going to find out. If they are adamant on doing their research, and I like to think most people are, not everybody is, but most people are, they'll find out, like we said, anyways. But I'll do it right there for them, and I'll tell them, okay, well, I'm going to take your item, I'm going to look it up, I'll give it a, okay, so it's going for so much. So I'll tell them, your item, whatever it is, it's got this value, Andre. This is what people are buying it at.
Okay.
So
that's a nationwide value.
Nationwide, essentially. So it's like, this is what people are buying it for. So that means if you want to try and get that much, that's a reasonable price.
Right. And it has to be in pristine condition, doesn't it? Does it have to be a certain condition?
It depends. There are some items, majority of the time, yes. Majority of the time, yes. But there are some items that are so rare, even damaged, can be worth a lot of money. And the only reason I say that is because I'm thinking about a baseball card, and it's one of the most rare baseball cards out there. I can't remember the player's name. I think he played for the Yankees, but I think he played for the Yankees. Don't quote me on that one. But it's just because I can't remember his name, but I do know the story of it. And the story goes is because these cards used to come in cigarette packs way back in the day, right? Back in like the 40s, roughly. So, Babe Ruth era. And so these baseball players would come out with their cards promoting these cigarette packs. But this one specific baseball player, I can't remember his name. I know,
as soon as you get in the car, you're like, yeah.
And his card was like the most expensive card out there. Like millions. But the reason why even a damaged card of his was so much is because he did not want to promote smoking. So only like a handful of his cards specifically were made because he did not want to promote smoking.
That is awesome.
I want to do that, so whatever. So that's why his is very rare. So to get a damaged one of his, it's still probably worthwhile.
Right, because it's so rare. So maybe 5 made, and then you have the one.
Yeah,
that's
essentially.
crazy.
So it depends. And again, I let people know. You know, as a matter of fact, there's this one girl who had come through with a Pokemon collection, and it was a kind of collection where it was my day off, right?
Wow.
And I was at the house, and normally on my days off, it's not day off, I'm like doing the ledgers or whatever.
Yeah, like behind the scenes.
But it was just one of those moments where my employees, who are my friends, who are here, they called me up and like, hey, you gotta come here. Like, this is that type of collection that you need to come and see it. Because, whoa. So I come in, and she had left the binder here. Now, I understand when people don't want to leave things here. I tell them, you can leave stuff here, we'll go through it. Like, if you want to be extra careful, like, we can take pictures, we can say, mind you, we're just going to hold on to it. You know, God forbid something happens to it, yeah, I'll pay up for it, but we take care of people's product when they bring it in, just so we can have that time to look through it, especially if it's a big collection.
So should I make an appointment with you then?
Yeah, she didn't make an appointment. She just walked in.
Oh, so you take walk-ins here?
I take walk-ins as well, but if you call ahead of time, that's probably best. But it hurts because I don't have a storefront, and I think that's something that a lot of people do. I get criticized on for like, oh, don't answer the phone. It's like, well, I don't actually have an in-store phone. Yeah. It's my cell phone.
Nobody does that anymore. Everybody has a cell phone now. So
it's my I do need to get one. I'm not saying I shouldn't have one.
Google has you can get a Google number, so they don't have your personal cell phone number, so you can get the stalker number.
Right.
They just don't realize.
That's true. But I do want to get my own separate phone eventually, and I'm working my way towards that as soon as I get other things figured out. But just so I can have it here, because I do get a lot of phone calls, and my phone will be going off when I'm at the gym. You know, I'll be at the gym. I'll be doing something.
Yeah, so personal me time. It's like,
and I'm getting phone calls, and I'm just like.
But that's a good problem to have, because imagine if it was not ringing.
Yeah, and that's a very good way to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very good way to look at it. But it's still, you know, it's the whole like, I'm running. I can't answer you right now.
Right,
you know.
You don't want to fall off the treadmill.
But yeah, if people want to walk in to try and sell collections, by all means, they are more than welcome. If you're here right now, what I can say is Fridays are one of the best days to come in because I'm here at 10 in the morning and I'm here till 5 p.m. And I have a little extra help with one of my boys who comes in and helps me out here.
Oh, nice.
So, particularly with Pokemon collections, that's one of the best times to come in if you have Pokemon for sure. Because him and we can go through it. He's really good at looking them up.
Right, but the sports cards though?
Sports cards is always going to be my dad.
Okay.
And that actually has been one of the. It has been hard because the sports thing has been a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't get that gene. We call it the gene, but I've just been more interested in the non-sports. I'm a nerd, you know. I'm a geek. I like all that stuff, you know. But some people don't come in, and I tell people exactly like this. They come in with sports. I'm like, hey man, if you want to show me comic books, toys, Pokemon cards, I'm looking at, and I can tell you a little bit more.
Yeah.
You show me sports cards, I'm like, those are sports cards.
And
those are sports cards. Yeah, I can tell you. What I can say, there's very base information when it comes to sports cards. That is, and it hurts a little bit because I hate to give people bad news. I do. Like, you gotta give it to them because unfortunately, and you know, however they choose to take it, that's on them. I've had some people just get very disappointed, sad. I've had people get really mad at me, and I'm like,
what can I do?
It's not my fault.
I don't want to do so much.
Like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Like, I explain to people, especially when it comes to sports cards.
Yeah.
If you have sports cards between the era, the 80s and the 90s, and it sucks to say that because a lot of people have
80s and 90s.
And you know why a lot of people have 80s and 90s?
No.
Because it was mass produced.
Oh.
And that is why a lot of people will call us being like, oh, I have all these sports cards, and they're old. And so when they say old, I'm like, okay, well, how old's old? Because sometimes old ain't old enough.
Exactly.
They're like, yeah, they're old. They're like from the 80s. They're from the 90s. I'm like, okay, first off, I'm from the 90s.
Yeah,
Right? You're from the 80s. I'm from the 90s.
I'm from the 70s.
Okay.
So I'm just like, hey, what are you trying to say?
But
it's crazy.
it's not old enough, you know, and it's not even the sake of being old, because there are a lot of modern cards that are very expensive. Wembayama's card
No way.
was his rookie card was really expensive. I can't remember the number exactly on it, but that card was up there.
It had commas in it.
It did have commas in it.
Yeah. I can imagine.
And so then they tell me they have these cards, and I give them the brief rundown of like, I'm sorry, it's 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to have something.
Okay.
There are people, though, who are familiar with the card industry.
Right.
And they'll say like, oh, yeah, no, I got rookie cards of the right people. So I'm like, who are we talking about?
Yeah.
Because I got Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
I got Kobe Bryant, Derek Jeter, Troy. So it's not all bad. It's not all bad news. But this is what I have to tell people, and it's the people who don't know what they have who we have to try and help them.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, you gotta go talk to my dad. Even if it came to like bigger players, I think I'm at a point where I could be like, okay, this might be something. This
Okay.
might be something.
Okay.
It's just going to take a lot more time. It's just going to take a lot more time for
Well,
me.
yeah, because like now that you are the new face of J&M, you have to learn that eventually. Because once your dad retires, you're on your own, bro.
Well, my dad's been retired for years.
Oh, I can't let it go.
Yeah. So,
in closing, what do you want the people to know about J&M and JoeAngel? Or JoeAngel's dad?
well, I mean, this has just been, it's been a hell of an experience, you know, first off. It's been a great experience. I have a lot of up and downs just in my short 2 years of being a business owner. So I could just imagine how my parents went through it. I mean, mind you, we like that.
How much does that cost? Don't worry about it. I got the money. Don't worry about that. I got it. Oh, shit. Oh, that was expensive.
He's known Joe for a long time. They're friends.
Yeah. Friends. But, there's just a lot of trial and error that comes into this, and I could just imagine what my parents had gone through, because we had opened and closed and moved all over this city. You know, from George Jeter, closed for a little while, still operated at like these little kermesse events, arts and craft things, and then we reopened the store in 2009.
Oh, wow.
In 2009, I was in high school, and we were on McCrae, and it was this little like shopping center that still had the cool arrows right across from us, and the nice little bakery.
Yeah.
And then they tore that all down and put a GNC there.
Oh.
So we had to move to Mountainwood, and we were on the corner of Solid Kleinfield and Mountainwood.
Okay.
Spent about 4 years there. Most of my college life was there. So I was in San Antonio at that time.
Okay.
But most of my college life, we were there. I'd get back home. We ended up moving to Sunland Park Mall.
Oh, wow.
Sunland Park Mall, 4 years there. Ended up upstairs where the Cowboys store is now.
Yeah.
Got kicked out by the Cowboys. Got kicked out by the Cowboys, so we ended up on Joe Battle.
Okay.
But around that time is when my father had some health issues, and it was the type of health issues where it's like, I think it's time for me to inherit the business. It kind of, I don't want to put it in the sense that it dropped on me in a bad.
Yeah.
It dropped on me in not exactly favorable terms.
Right.
Being that.
Because I'm sure you had your own dreams and aspirations of what you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, and I still do, and I am working on a way to incorporate what I'm doing. That's why I've been trying to get more into the social media side of things when it comes to my store. But like I said, I'm more comfortable being a theater actor. I mean, even film is a little bit for me, but it's just, again, social media is an entirely different animal because it's not fictional. Social media, especially if you're being an influencer, or just like running a podcast or whatever
Content
you're doing.
creator,
But that's you. Like, people are getting a look into who you really are in that. And I'm like, you know, like,
I don't know if I know
I
you.
don't.
Like,
I just, What you need to know about me, or my family, my store, this business is
Your legacy. This is your legacy.
Yeah, and that's.
And then if you decide to have children, you've got something to pass down that is just.
I mean, God willing, I'd reach that at some point.
This is a treasure trove.
It is. It really is. And I welcome everyone into the store, and yes, don't get deterred by the no food or drink sign. A lot of people do. They get put off by it, but it's like you can. I will hold your stuff.
Yeah.
If you're...
I just don't hate for you to ruin it. That's the thing, because most people are they're clumsy. So you don't want.
That's what a lot of people don't.
And liquids on stuff.
Right.
These are collector's items that are supposed to last, and you can't resell it if it got cheeseburger stains.
And you know what? One of the biggest issues on that is that there are a lot of people who don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
They see the no food or drink sign and they take it personal. And I'm just like,
what's wrong with my food?
Why don't? There's nothing personal about it. If you can promise me that you're accident proof, then come on in.
Well, I'm
but
sure
that's
you have
not...
children that come in here. Children are accident
that's
prone. Children are prone to accidents.
Oh my God, I like this. I like this too.
I didn't want to.
They break stuff.
Here comes the venting part now. I'm sorry. Look, I get
This
a
is
lot
when
of.
it's the 10-minute shit talking segment
Let
that
it
we
out.
always do on the podcast.
Tell it, Joe.
Venting.
The venting.
Kirby
First and
kids.
foremost, like I said, I don't kick anybody out for food and drink. I will ask them, hey, or I'll tell them, just set it right here.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it. But some people, there's this one time I did have a girl, oh, do you mind if I just hold the drink up here? Like, no. Like, okay. Like that was weird to her.
Probably because she thinks, okay, I get it. She thinks you're going to roofie it, but you're running a business. You don't have time to roofie a drink and then catch her in the hallway.
Yeah.
Girl, you're not that cute.
He said it. But yeah, it's like, first off, yeah, I'm running a business here. If you get sick for whatever reason, poison, whatever, like, because we poisoned it or we roofed it, like, obviously that's going to come back to us,
Right. But they're not thinking that.
They're not thinking that, and then not only that, or it's like, oh, are you going to drink from or eat my food? I'm like, trust me, I don't want your babas, okay? I don't want yours, and just like, but the signs are, I got 3 of them, okay? I got 1, 2, 3, it said no food, 4, it says say no food or drink. And again, it's not because I don't want you to come in. It's just
a liability issue.
It is a liability issue. People don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
And I get it's people can be not all people, because the majority of people, they're just totally cool with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they'll come in, they're like, oh, hey, do you mind if I hold on to it? Or like, hey, can I come in with this? I'm like, put it right here, buddy. Come on in.
Watch it. Yeah.
And they
yes.
that's
because
fine.
True collectors understand you don't mix food with your collectibles. And other people are like, oh, they're just toys.
But there are these people who come in, and it's not even kids. I've seen kids do it,
Oh,
but it's when adults come in and do it. And they have their cotton candy on them, and they're putting their fingers in their mouths with the cotton candy or popcorn or pretzels or whatever, and like their hands are dirty.
Yeah.
They're dirty. They got cheese on their hands and their fingers, and they're touching things.
Comes in and wants to touch
and then they wonder why COVID spread so.
You're right. You're so right. Oh my God.
That'll do
right.
it. That'll do it.
So it's like it's kind of gross.
Right. And he does have a break. You break it, you bought it policy. So be careful what you touch.
Majority.
It might go home with you.
Oh, I do have a story about that. And
He's over here. That's expensive.
yes, I do. A majority of the times people break it, they just run out. They don't.
No.
Oh yeah. And even for like the most minuscule thing. Yeah, but I
will
can't
leave it
force.
at that. We'll leave it at that. What happens? You want to find out one way or the other. And we're not going to disclose that. Okay. So you break it, you buy it.
Yeah, like when I jump right now and break it, so I don't have to buy it.
You're his friend. You get a discount.
Shit.
But there was one incident where this family, they had broken. I had a whole bunch of mugs, right? And I didn't even want them there. That was a decision my mom had made. And I was like, I don't want these mugs. I don't like these mugs. I kept saying, why do we have mugs? Like, oh, because it's sports. I don't care. They're mugs. I don't want them. And they had dropped something. They had dropped like a Godzilla or something on all of these
Not
mugs.
the Godzilla.
And they broke all of them. The Godzilla was fine.
Godzilla's fine. Well, yeah, he's a
They
monster.
broke all these mugs. And I was like, oh.
But it was mugs you didn't want.
It was mugs I didn't want, sure.
You kind of got.
But at the end of the day, it's like that's still. stuff that my parents had invested in.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who still do the sports.
Yeah.
So whatever they're doing sports, like whatever. But I do tell them like, I want no more mugs.
Yeah.
But they broke so much. They broke so much, and it was like a lot. It was a lot. But these people paid for it. And
see, accountability. So
they were accountable. They paid for it, and I was very. I guess I'm telling you right now because if by chance they happen to see, like.
Well, yeah.
Come back in, please. I don't want you.
Right. Like to be bashful and not come back.
Yeah.
But there are those that are like take advantage of the situation and like, oh, we're good, right? And they won't even say sorry. They won't attempt to clean up. They won't attempt to
There's a lot
make amends.
Of lack of accountability, particularly in the small. I have not experienced it to the extent that it is until I moved into the small. Now, mind you, we've had people who, have their issues before, but ever since I moved in here, it's a lot. It is a lot, and I hate to.
No, El Paso always talk about El Paso strong. They're always El Paso proud. So El Paso do the right thing and continue to do the right thing and support small businesses. Don't come into business and trash the place. Don't come into business and be rude. And don't steal. Don't steal.
Oh my gosh, there was a family of stealers here. They kept hitting places like mine. I don't particularly remember them exactly coming in here, but like the mall movie, they were the security movie, they were FYE. The employees over there, they always had to keep an eye on them.
Wow.
They got banned from this mall. The whole family. The whole family.
Well, your family business is into sports cars and collectibles. Their family business into 5-figure discounts. Each family's different.
Yeah.
Don't be those people.
Don't be those people.
But at the end of the day, I need to point out that there are a lot of good people.
Yes.
And they come in. We've had people so many times. I've come across a lot of people. They come in and they're like, "Oh hey, where's your dad?" I'm like, "Oh, he's at the other location." I'm like, "Oh man, I remember when your dad used to be at the George Jeter location back in the house." Shh, not that big.
Yeah.
I was a baby.
Yeah.
And
they'll say, "Do you remember me though?"
No, but thank you for coming in. Yeah. But they come around now. And they're like, awesome. Oh, so this is what they say, Joe Jr., right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Joe Jr. I'm like, oh, I'm JoeAngel, but okay.
I'm my own Joe.
Yeah. But so just to kind of combat that, like a little bit of, I guess, negative energy that was coming into it. But there's a lot of great people who come through. I made good friends. Good relationships. Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the employees who I have working for me right now, who's now a really good friend of mine, I met him because of the store.
That's awesome.
He came in, he helped my mom out figure some like the Sofubi characters that we have here. And so I figured out. He comes around and he's just like, "Hey dude, how can I help you go through your comic books?"
Oh, nice.
I'm like, let me just help you out. Started off just him coming in because he just wanted to go through comic books, and eventually I was just like, you know what? You're hired.
That's amazing. Have you had any celebrities come through here though?
Minor celebrities.
Okay.
I would say.
Hey, they celebrities.
So
they're climbing.
There's a guy who's really cool. I haven't seen him around in a while. I'm like, when's he gonna come back? But his name's Rocco Reyes.
Okay. And
Rocco Reyes, he's been in smaller roles, but I think the last thing he did was like National Treasure, the series. I think he played a villain. I think he plays a lot of villain roles. But he's a great dude, though. He's such a nice guy. He comes in. He's really into Iron Man, so he bought some Iron Man stuff at one point. He keeps looking at like my big Deadpool statue every time.
All he needs is that major movie role, and he can get it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it.
I haven't seen him. I'm hoping he's just busy and off doing his stuff because I haven't seen him in a while. It'd be cool. He's a really tall guy, really nice guy, heavy Spanish accent, but so cool. Yeah. He's a really down to earth dude, Yeah. And then another celebrity that we actually had come in here, and I didn't even realize it at the time because I didn't know. I just didn't know. Was it Joe Coy?
No way!
Yeah.
When he came in for the store.
He came in. He came in with one of the actresses from, what was it, Goosebumps? I think it was the new Goosebumps movie, or the most recent one that came out maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
So it was him and this woman And they walk in, and of course they got the sunglasses on and everything. And I didn't think much of it. I just knew they were important people. I knew they were important people because they had this big dude with them the whole time. Dude was huge. Oh my God, he was such a tall dude, and he was stocky.
Yeah.
And he had the whole like earpiece and everything, the nice suit, and he's trailing them. And there's like a small group of them, and they're just roaming around. I couldn't put 2 and 2 together, but then again, I wasn't familiar with Joe Coy so much. Right. I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but I had his pop back here signed by him.
No
and he bought it.
Way.
He bought it.
Did you take a picture?
I didn't know it was him.
Oh man! Oh man! That's great. That sucks. That's cool.
It sucks.
JoeAngel needs a redo. Okay. Send a picture and a video saying thank you or something.
I was very focused because this is my nephew. My nephew was here, and we were just kind of, you know what? It was a long day. Yeah. And it was kind of a quiet day. I think I remember it being. And so we just and Andrew, my nephew, and I were looking at each other, going like, "Where's this guy from? What's this? We're gonna figure it out.
Looks familiar, this guy."
The bodyguard, though, I can't remember his name. He was such a cool guy. Too.
Oh, nice.
Like he was. We don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
He was a big dude, and he, you could tell he had like,
Of course.
And
everybody
so
knows like that, so
he came back the next day, though. The bodyguard. He came back the next day because we talked to him a little bit while he was here, and he was like, "Oh, I'm interested in." I want to say, I think he was a Bengals guy, and so he comes in the following day. And yeah, sure enough, he's wearing the Bengals jersey and everything, and he had bought a helmet. I think that I had one of the only ones that I had. So he bought one, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" I couldn't forget him, like he stood out. And so, bro, who? And I asked him, "Who was that yesterday? Who were you with?" And so he told me, "Oh, this is a comedian. This is Joe Coy and this woman." And oh, that makes sense. Yeah. But he was such a nice person. Like, I'll never forget him. Yeah. I'm never going to forget that dude. Yeah. Not just because of, like, his scary build, but he was so nice. Yeah. And he told, because we got into this conversation, like, is this your store? I'm like, well, yeah, it's my store. I told him, family business, and so on and so on. And it's also been for 2 years now. I'm like, yeah. I was like, dude, I'm so proud of you. Like this really big dude, it was just like, hey man, I'm proud of you for doing this and everything. And I, like, coming from this big guy, I'm like, oh.
Thanks, security, pop.
Yeah. And it's times like that, and I get a lot of that. I do.
Well, you have to understand, a lot of children, no offense, a lot of children, when they grow up, they want to do their own thing. They're not thinking of following in their parents' shadow for whatever reason, and we have a lot of that, like breaking generational trauma or generations, whatever. I want to do my own thing, but sometimes you can't do your own thing. You have to keep the family business going. You have to keep the legacy going, and it's how do you come to terms with that, knowing that you had your own hopes and dreams, but you're keeping this alive.
I mean, and I understand the whole, like, oh man, big shoes to fill and everything. Yeah. And the shadow. And I try not to look at it that way. Obviously, it's a thought that's crossed my mind. But at the end of the day, I am, like I said, different enough, lack of a better way of putting it, from my parents to be like, no, this is becoming my own thing. And I'm pretty certain they see it. Where they're like, no, this is definitely becoming, like, my thing. Yeah,
because anybody else probably would have been like, no, sell it. Bye. And then it's like,
I didn't want to do that because I love this stuff too still, like as much as life and some of the people who come in can like wear and tear on me with the whole like, oh my god, like why do I do this? But
it's a seesaw, you guys have to go with the bad.
But it's
and everything in between, and you're building memories for yourself as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned it already. It's good problems to have, right? And that's what I got to keep reminding myself of. Mind you, I do get stressed. I hadn't had as much anxiety, I think, until I became a business owner, especially here at this mall. Because I do, and I mean, there's a lot of things that happen. This mall is very eventful. Yeah, it's very eventful. And
I don't want to say it's haunted, but
it's not it's oh my god, the amount of things that. Well, I mean, I spent very late nights here solo before, which I don't do anymore because the mall's like electric bill, and I'm like,
oh, like turn off this, we gotta get out.
yeah. So I try not to stay that long anymore.
Okay.
But I'm just talking about the incidents that have happened here, and they're bad. And I think my anxiety peaked around the time when there was that shooting here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
we remember what
There
happened.
was that shooting here. A lot of people get it confused with the Walmart shooting.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not that.
Totally
But it was an
different incident.
entirely different incident, and it was just these kids being dumb. And so that happened. I was here for that. I was here for that. I was here with my nephew. We ended up getting locked in the. Well, I locked us
Yeah,
in
for safety.
in the restroom.
Yeah.
But we had some other people in here too. We had 3 other people, and I just like, you guys gotta go to the back now.
Yeah.
Go to the back, and so.
And thank you for not sending them out and like, hey, we got a so you got good luck.
No. I told
you
you
took
gotta
them
go
with
to the back.
you and you protected them.
I tried my
That's
best,
awesome.
but the thing is, they were panicking.
I see.
And I don't. Yeah, it was a tough situation.
Yeah.
But the thing, it sounded so close because the shooting happened just right here.
Right.
Just right on this balcony right here, because I'm underneath the food court. The
Right.
shooting happened in the food court.
Right.
It sounded like whoever the gunman was literally just around the corner of this store.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, he's right there. If I go and try and close those doors, and they're glass doors,
Yeah.
if I try and close those doors, I'm gonna get shot.
Mhm.
So I didn't even bother closing them because my thought process was, if I run over there and there's a dude with a gun, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Yeah, because we see
So-
you. I was like, target practice.
Yeah. So I didn't even bother with those doors.
Wow.
Ushered everybody to the back, get to the restroom. But yeah, they were panicking. My nephew was very calm. He was a very calm person. So he was very calm, but the others were just like,
They were
we
just
gotta
scared.
keep going, we gotta
Yeah.
keep going, we gotta
Yeah,
keep
they were
going. I'm
scared.
like, keep going, don't
Where
go.
are you going?
They took, and I, as much as I tried to tell them, like, don't go anywhere,
Yeah.
I have the emergency exit in the back. They took it and they ran off.
Okay.
And I was like, and I wanted to stop them. As a matter of fact, I did step out to be like, don't. But I had no argument in that moment to be like, what if you run into somebody who has a gun?
Outside.
Exactly. Like, it's,
You
what
do-
do they teach you in school? They teach you to get in the corner.
Lock
Shut
the
the fuck
door.
up.
It's just yeah, lock the door. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. We're
So-
taught to hide, and then if we have to fight. But yeah.
Yeah. And it was scary, you know, because at that time we didn't know what was going on. Like, we're all traumatized still from what happened at Walmart. And so we, like, I had a really big knife in the back. What am I going to do with the knife? You know, with the guy with the gun.
It's a gun. This is a knife.
Pops, get out of here.
So essentially, I tried to just be as close to the door as possible because, like, that's, if he's going to come in and he's got a gun, your last ditch effort, I think, is to just minimize that distance as much as you can. So just be close to the door, and I had to, yeah.
But we think happy thoughts.
We think happy
thoughts.
And it's not all that. Again, doom and gloom, yeah, happens. But in here, like I said, there are a lot of great things that happen here as well.
Yeah.
And meeting people like Rocco Reyes
Yeah.
and
Joe Coy, apparently.
Joe Coy, and the bodyguard he was with. He was such a nice person.
Right.
But it's not only that. Again, legacy.
Yeah.
All the people who will come through who thought we were gone
Yeah.
because they didn't know what happened to us. It's either from George Jeter or McRae or Mountain. And then they see the store and they walk in
Oh.
and they're like, hey, did you used to be here? And I'm like, yeah, that's when my dad was like, oh, your dad is Joe. I'm like, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Are you Joe Jr.? So I'm like, yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. I'm JoeAngel.
That's my business name.
Yeah. So, and again, that's just, I think that's where the anxiety comes from. It's a lot of like a roller coaster
Yeah,
ride. It's
because
just,
you want to do good business. You want to keep the public happy, but most importantly, you want to keep the family proud and family name
of course,
going.
of course.
So yeah, no, we wish you much continued success, JoeAngel. You're doing a great thing here, and people out there, make sure you come to the J&M Sports Collectibles store here at the Sierra Vista Mall. Stop on and see Dad over at the Joe Battle store, and become part of the family like us. Thank you, JoeAngel.
Thank you very much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate
Thanks for having us.
Yes, of course.
Joe, you are amazing. Oh my God, I love your store, buddy. Thank you so much.
broke
I love you
everything.
so much. Get out the way, please. Thank you very much. I gotta get something real quick.
You gotta get something right quick.
Yeah, I gotta get
What
something
is he
right
getting?
There's these things that I broke. I left you $50 on the table.
50
Okay?
bucks.
I'm pretty sure it should cover it.
Right.
Go look in the bag. I promise I didn't stick anything else. All right, good to see you, Joe.
right.
You forgot your jacket.
We gotta go now.
Yeah. Good luck.
Let's go. Let's hurry. Let's go. 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 Go.
And we're going live in 3, 2, 1.